Welcome to the Impact Lounge. Feel the sound. Legends in the ring making moves all around. We got the fire, the heart, the stories untold. This is our moment. Watch the magic unfold. Welcome to the Impact Lounge, where we reign. Kings and queens of the ring breaking chains. We taking wrestling to a whole new height. Under bright lights, we ignite the fight. Genesis to rebellion. The crowd still chanting.
All right, what's going on, jobbers? Who am I? The most negative one? Your boy BQ.
And a kick out.
This is your Impact Lounge TNA Impact review for October 1st, 2025. You know, my screen name does now say BQ by Elegant, so I probably need to dump the Hannafin kick out, and I need a by Elegance. So maybe we'll fix that for the next episode. I really wasn't thinking about that, but now we're gonna make that adjustment, and I'll find another place for it. I'll kick out. Good old phony Tom. Man, this episode, I feel bad because I reviewed Victory Road obviously last week, saying it wasn't my favorite show. Like, I don't like to do back-to-back negative interviews. Negative reviews, but I didn't really enjoy this episode. The only thing I had any interest in whatsoever. I mean, there's always good and bad for everything. We're going to talk about that. But the only thing, looking at the card and just as I'm watching the episode, the only thing I had any interest in was the tag team title match in the end. And we're going to get to the results of that and all that. But spoiler alert, Inspiration wins. TNA could not wait to put the titles on these women. And it was just so, obviously, Kalani Jordan accidentally said on NXT television that the Inspiration were the Knockouts tag team champions. But, we knew where they were going to win the match. I think that's why a lot of the reason they pulled it from Victory Road, because after Ash, basically had to retire, then we're going to have the Elegance brand lose right after that. So, they pulled it. It was just, you just knew this was coming. Even though I knew the outcome, I was really looking forward to the match. But, they cannot help themselves. And it was very, very obvious when they put together these Survivor matches where in the men's team, you got 2 champions versus 2 champions. On the women's team, you got 3 champions versus 1 champion. Come on. Like, TNA is going to do TNA things, and they get erect over getting their titles onto another TV show or wherever they can be seen. So you knew they were going to have the belts. God forbid that the Elegance brand, who's had the titles for 1,000, 2,000 days, of course I'm exaggerating that number. God forbid they represent TNA on the NXT show. Instead, it's going to be Inspiration. Let's get back to Bound for Glory real quick. I am not positive. I am likely not watching Bound for Glory as it airs. I have a previous commitment because we're going to Southern California for a USC game on Saturday. And I don't really know what time we're leaving on Sunday, but there's a good chance I'm going to be on the road when the show starts. I should be arriving back to Las Vegas, but I don't know for sure. So there is a high probability that I got to watch Bound for Glory the next day. I have the day off the next day, so that's no biggie. I'll wake up in the morning, watch the show, and then review it. And we'll do what we do. So enough talk. Let's get into this episode of TNA Impact.
TNA Impact. Oh.
What in the name of Monday Night Raw was this opening segment that felt like it would never end? It kicks off with the King's speech, King of the Block Party.
It's a block party. I'm not playing with y'all, bro.
Frankie Kazarian and his guest is the Knockouts World Champion, Kalani Jordan.
It became personal with me.
And man, can anyone talk on this NXT roster? She wasn't horrible, but it's just insane for this television program, this company that says they have promo class. Like, these, not one of these NXT stars, with the exception of Trick Williams, has come on TNA television and even felt a little bit authentic and natural. But it was pretty quick and painless because they got everyone into this opening segment. My God. it just every time you think it was over, like someone else's music hit, someone else came out. Like this was as Monday Night Raw as it gets. I like when they open up with a match. I don't want them to open up with a long match, but I prefer them open up with a little bit of action. And if you're going to do a segment like this, at least give us some kind of cliffhanger, you know, something to perhaps look forward to later in the show. Like it just went and went and went, and then they paid it off almost immediately. So um, I don't care how they try to justify this shit. They are trying to justify Kalani Jordan as Knockouts champion. She's in there. She's got the crowd chanting NXT. Is that what TNA really wants on their home floor? You know, they trying to be the they content being the Rams with the 49er fan base taking up 80% of the arena. Like is that what they want? And I talked about this in Victory Road, on my Victory Road review. You know, good old Carlos Silva, the man with the hat, goes in the ring all dejected to give Kalani Jordan the title, like, oh, it's back in NXT. Like, motherfucker, why was she in the match? You know, I don't care what they try to do to justify this. Like, it's just bad television. Is it going to come off bad in the end? You know, I guess Kalani Jordan being on Team TNA is kind of cool. It makes zero sense. They're trying, and I commend them for trying, because in the past they would do something this nonsensical and then just act like we're fucking idiots. You know, at least they're making kind of an attempt, but it's just, I mean, when she's standing in there leading the NXT chants in TNA's ring, I mean, what in the world? Fortunately, this is all going to be pretty short-lived, because at Bound for Glory, the titles are coming home. This NXT Showdown show is, I guess, tonight, right? Tomorrow? I don't even know when NXT is. People have been asking me if I'm going to watch this show. Hell no. I'm putting my fucking Vince Russo hat back on. Bro, could you imagine me watching wrestling? I'm not watching NXT, please. I will watch Mike Gilbert's review, and that is the extent of my involvement with NXT Showdown. I don't even know if it's called NXT Showdown, whatever it is. That is the extent of my involvement. I am not watching that show. As I said, you will not find a podcaster less committed to watching wrestling than me. But that's part of my charm, right? So they're talking for a little bit. He name drops Trick Williams. So what happens 2 seconds later?
How about a magic trick?
Here he comes with his babyface entrance. Whoop that trick. So far, the 90% of this show is in support of NXT on TNA television. So Trick Williams comes down, and keep in mind these motherfuckers are opponents coming up, and they're trying to. Their opponents, so Frankie Kazarian is talking shit, but Frankie Kazarian is also, man, I can't even explain all this. In my head, there's like so much going on, because then Frankie, after talking shit, because their opponent starts, all of a sudden they start respecting each other. So, there's just no heat. Oh my God. And I'm thinking, okay, he's got the NXT champions in the ring. This should end quickly. No, because then the next set of music, that doesn't make any sense. The next music that hits, very conveniently, Matt Hardy.
Wonderful.
He starts cutting his promo. Now, the only funny thing about this entire thing was Frankie Kazarian asking where his brother was. He said, "Oh, that's right. He can't come into Canada. I'm actually kind of jealous. I wish I couldn't. I didn't have to come to Canada." So that was good. Frankie Kazarian's involvement in this whole thing was really the only redeeming quality about it. You know, King of the Block Party is very, very good on the mic. So, he did his thing, and it came off fine. Okay, segment over, right? Everyone's got it out of their system. More music hits.
Hey, here. I'm in charge.
Do you feel in charge?
And it is Leon Slater coming out, talking about bullocks and all that. bollocks. What's the word? And Leon Slater does a good job talking. But at this point, I'm just like, will people stop? All right. And another one of Frankie Kazarian's funnier moments was after Leon Slater cut that entire promo. He said, "I only understood about 2 words of that. I understood about 4, so I've got one up on you." Segment over, right? Okay, we're good to go. No, because Indy Hartwell's name gets dropped, and what happens 2 seconds later?
How long did it take you to learn English once you got here?
It was really easy because we speak English in Australia, you fucking idiot.
So she comes out, and man, I was looking at Indy Hartwell, and I was thinking, like, she looks good on TV, but I bet in real life she's like stunning. Like if you just saw her amongst the peasants, you know what I mean? But anyway, so she comes out, and then Frankie Kazarian's like, "Okay, whoa, whoa, whoa! I don't want you here. I don't want you here. I don't want you here." Kalani Jordan's saying, "Hey, I thought I was the guest." Indy Hartwell says, "Well, you said my name, like gimmick infringement, Joe Hendry." And I've brought this up before. Everyone has Joe Hendry's gimmick. They just don't say it. Like all you have to do is say any of these wrestlers' names, and the music hits. But everyone's blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. Segment over, right?
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
Out comes Santino. And he's got a great idea, as he always does. He makes a 6-person tag team match. So we're getting the awkward team of Kalani Jordan, King of the Block Party, and Trick Williams. King of the Block Party and Trick Williams are both on opposing sides in NXT coming up. They're going to team up. And they took on Leon Slater, Matt Hardy, and Indy Hartwell. My main takeaway from this match, like obviously the baby faces won. I mean, come on. Who's going to freaking... Oh, speaking of Indy Hartwell, she came out with the "I respect you" to Kalani Jordan. My favorite words before a big match at a pay-per-view. No heat. Anyway, my biggest takeaway from this was that they were really trying to feature Kalani Jordan versus Indy Hartwell in this match. Well, they're giving away the match unnecessarily, by the way. They were really trying to feature these girls, and they did not have chemistry, especially the opening segment. They're not segment, but the opening part of the match. Just anytime they tagged in and it was them wrestling, like it just was not good. No chemistry. And I think both are good, okay? I'm not saying neither of them can wrestle. Mike Gilbert's not an Indy Hartwell fan. I think she can wrestle just fine. But just the two of them together, no chemistry. They're trying to figure out how to do this babyface versus babyface thing. They're going to Bound for Glory ice cold. As I said, Indy Hartwell just says, "I respect you." And they're going to have a good old-fashioned wrestling match. A couple good little hands have a good old-fashioned wrestling match at Bound for Glory. If one side wasn't NXT, I don't think anyone would care who wins this match. But I still don't think the people care, but I think they're like the TNA fans, not for TNA, you know, like, "Oh, we got our title back." I think they really just want the title back. Like they don't. This storyline is not over with the TNA fans. I'm not even saying it's a awful storyline. I don't think it's a bad idea for the titles to be in NXT, but the majority of the TNA fans don't like it, and they want the titles back. All right. I mean, people are posting videos of themselves crying on Twitter because the titles are back in NXT. You know what I'm saying? Like people don't like this. Should be over here pretty soon. They're gonna do this showdown. They're gonna do Bound for Glory. We should have the championships back. I don't know how they're gonna integrate NXT into the show after that, because I think they will continue to. But you know, I think it'll be a challenge on how to do it, because I think the title should be coming home. I think we're going to see Mike Santana versus Trick Williams. We very well could see them wrestle again at Genesis, but hopefully it's just on a TNA Plus show. They just knock it out and we kind of move on. You know what I mean? But you know, at this point in the show, I'm just not really feeling it. I am not into it. Did not like the long drug out opening segment. Didn't really like the match. The props that I will give the match, however, was at the very, very end. It was very, very fast paced. Everyone was attacking each other, and the camera work was really, really good. The way it was cutting in and out on all the action going on. So it was, it was cool. Frankie Kazarian eats the pin, like big shocker there, right? When doesn't he? But the whole thing was just talking and name dropping, and the music hit on this fake phony wrestling show.
Fake and a phony, and I wish I'd never laid eyes on you.
I didn't even give Mackenzie Mitchell her soundbite. She, of course, is the ring announcer for this evening.
Ding bong, ding dong, he's Stone Cold Aye.
All right, man. So after this, we did not have Queen of the second segment because she was later in the show. So instead, we had in the aisleway to the ring, we had what was essentially Team TNA. It was a lot of the people who I think are going to be on the Showdown show, but then you like randomly threw in Hometown Man and the Kabuki Warriors and a couple randos. So, and then, of course, who needs TV time again but Tommy Dreamer?
Ah, so you come crawling back, you cheap sack of shit.
And I saw on Twitter people saying, yo, okay, we like Tommy Dreamer. He's a legend, whatever. They did not like him being the voice of TNA. They felt that it was better suited for Mike Santana. But Mike Santana has a segment later in the show. He's very focused on the world title. I can understand why they said, okay, we need someone else to speak. We can't have Mike Santana because they don't really have Mike Santana on screen right now. Like he was on the show, but it was a backstage segment. I don't think it would have worked if he's cutting a promo here and then he's in the back all defeated and doing that whole thing with Amazing Red later. That just doesn't work. So you needed someone to speak. Eric Young's a heel, so he can't give his rah-rah speech. So, the new king of the rah-rah is Tommy Dreamer. As much as I think I've been asking for them to stop using Tommy Dreamer on TV for 8-9 years now. I don't think he's been around that long with the company, but the majority, pretty much ever since he has been an on-screen character for TNA, I've asked them to stop. They keep going back to it. And I don't know how we avoided Tommy Dreamer versus Mance Warner in a garbage match. We somehow avoided that. But I was kind of okay with him doing this. Okay. He took off his shirt. All I could see were titties, and not the kind I want to see. I think he cursed in it, and they had edited it out or something. So it was kind of short. I mean, it really wasn't that big of a deal. I saw someone on Twitter telling Hometown Man, "I wish you were on Team TNA for Showdown." Like, fucking Mark, are you serious? Hometown Man with teaming up with like Mike Santana and all them. Hometown Man, that you were. Let's move on. What we have after this? We had a very nice video package with Mara Sade.
Dracarys.
Jacksonville, the community. Duval.
They're doing an excellent job with this girl. Scott D'Amore would have had the Knockouts title on her. They're really taking their time. I think she's eventually going to have to turn heel because Indy Hartwell's not going to have anyone to feud with. And I think this would make the most sense. Again, you can circle back to Tessa Blanchard and Indy Hartwell. I don't know anything. I'm not fully convinced Tessa Blanchard's around after this match with Gia Miller. She could be. I'm just not fully convinced on it. We'll talk about Tessa, Gia Miller a little bit later, but I think you're going to get this girl over as a babyface. Absolutely. I think to get her to where she needs to be, it might have to be a heel. I can see a very, very dominant run with her, but I can see a lengthy babyface run as well. I just think ultimately she's probably going to have to turn to the dark side. But these video packages that they've done of her are very good. I would love to see more of it. I don't want to see, Hometown Man's video package, or I guess he's not in the company anymore, Laredo Kid. Like I don't want to see those. But when we have people coming in that you know you're going to do something with, you're going to push them, like this is something good. Then we had the TNA injury report. Bioflex, big shout out.
You have 24 hours to live.
24 hours?
Well, 22. I'm sorry I kept you waiting so long.
Gia Miller's cleared. They actually had something legit for once, which was Ash by Elegance. Obviously, no longer competing. Then it let us know, because the third one is always crap. The Inspiration and Elegance brands are, the Elephants brand are good to go for tonight. Well, because they double eliminated themselves at the that victory road at the Battle Royal. They had to get evaluated. They did the least amount of work of anyone in the match. Shout out Bioflex. After this, we got the I won't even want to say the debuting tag team, because they've tagged already. But they're debuting as the Kabuki Warriors. We have Queen of the Rubber match, Zaya Brookside, and her tag team partner
From Chingchong, China.
Laying Lee. They're taking on. I got these names here. Good old Angel Warriors. Sorry, let me scroll. Okay, so I type more often than not, I type my notes out. And sometimes when it's in my pocket, it'll just add random letters. So I just know that one of them was something Von Hees.
Doesn't even go here.
And then Ava Lawless.
Who?
That one, Ava Lawless. Sorry. That's the only one that didn't get messed up. My notes here say Lil Miss Zayas Musical Von Hees. So I'm guessing that's not her name. My pocket gave her a new name, though. These girls look like they were dressed up like Jessica Havoc and Killer Kelly for Halloween. It did not look serious at all. You know how the TNA fans, every time there's a female jobber on the screen, they start getting on Twitter like, oh, sign this girl. Like, I don't think they were doing that this time. They did get some offense in. These two young ladies did get some offense in, but very, very odd look. I mean, it just, I don't know. So the Angel Warriors, clearly they're getting the push, right? That is the way of the Knockouts tag team division. Unfortunately, they were already involved in the title picture. You know, it would have been nice if you could have just kept them off TV, but remember they're doing all these run-ins for Masha Slamovich. They spent more time running than they did wrestling. You know, because they were like teaming them with her, you know, they had to keep them involved in the title picture. And we were getting these 4 knockouts tag team matches and shit. It would have just been so nice if you could have just let it breathe a little, maybe not have so many teams involved, and then now bring them along. But we know that they're next up, right? We're gonna see if TNA sticks with the method of put together a team, challenge for the title, win the title. We're gonna see if that's what they do. It's gonna be interesting because the Inspiration are baby faces. Could they switch to heels hypothetically? I guess they could. I don't think they will. I feel like they debuted as heels though, right? When they won the titles, I think they were supposed to be heels, but they were so over at the time that they just immediately made them baby faces. I think that's what happened. They could probably get away with being heels this time because they're not really hitting with the audience the way they did before. So I don't know how they're going to factor these women in, but my assumption is they're wrestling for the titles because, and I might even bring this up a couple more times in the episode, they don't just have feuds that don't involve the titles. Everything involves the titles with the women. And we're even seeing that now with triple the size roster. They're still just all feuding for the titles. There's no stories. Gia Miller and Tessa Blanchard is a big time exception because one of them doesn't wrestle and it's easy to keep them away from each other on TV. Tessa Blanchard, they just suspended her. So it was very, very easy to keep them separated and build anticipation for what they're doing. But we'll talk about that here in a little bit as well. So the Kabuki Warriors win with their finisher. I think it was called the Flying Sandbag. I don't remember what the name was. It was a version of the Brooksy Bomb where Zaya Brookside, shout out to Zaya Brookside for multiple uses of the monkey flip in this match. So shout out to Zaya Brookside. But basically it's a version of the Brooksy Bomb where she does it to her partner instead on top of the person in the ring, completely flattening them. This did not look good. It looked painful. And the girl who took it, the fake Jessica Havoc, is a bigger girl. So she can absorb that a lot more than one of the Inspiration or M by Elegance or something like that. Like that move looks like it would kill them. My assumption was that the girl was too close to the corner. So she got completely flattened. And that is something in like modern wrestling that drives me crazy when you've got a move you got to set up and the opponent who's taking the move rolls into position. It always looks bad. Um, I mean, when I was growing up watching wrestling, it happened a little bit. Like if you think of the match where the Ultimate Warrior beat the Honky Tonk Man, he showed up at SummerSlam and he goes to hit the big splash for the win, like Honky Tonk Man rolled into position. So it has happened since the beginning of time. But like for the most part in early wrestling, if you were going to hit a move off the top rope, you positioned your opponent where they need to be. Like, what's wrong with just bending over and dragging someone or rolling them and putting them in position? Like, that would just be more realistic. I've always said wrestling comes off the best when it is perceived to be real. You know, but this whole like moving into position, she's in the wrong position. She's too close to the turnbuckle. So when they do the move, they completely flatten her. But that, if there's any move that looks like it's going to hurt somebody, it is that. All right, you can put that right up next to Chelsea Green's "Unpretty Her." Those two most dangerous moves that women do. So they look like they're going to hurt somebody one day. They just might. They were very happy when they won this squash match. I've never seen anyone so happy for winning a match in my life. But yeah, we'll see what the Angel Warriors do going forward. We will see if they are Knockouts Tag Team Champions, but I'm sure they will definitely challenge for them. And I don't even know why I'm overthinking, Inspiration, babyface, heel. It's most likely we're going to get to Genesis, and it's going to be like 4 teams fighting for the title like it always is. So I probably don't even need to overthink that. After this, backstage, we had Brother Love Handles. Joe Hendry, and I completely missed this at Victory Road that I guess he did a standing ovation onto a steel chair. I don't know how I missed that because that's what he said he did at Victory Road. And very, very conveniently, walking up is
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Santino comes and lets him know that he will be wrestling Eric Young next week. It's above his head. It's going to be a garbage match.
Get garbage out of here!
Oh my God. Are we serious right now? I understand there's a little bit of a story here because they're trying to say, oh, he slid the ring in, he uses the chair to win. How many garbage matches do we need in this show? It's every week, and it's always Santino thinks he's got this great idea. No disqualification. No fucking shit, dude. Like, we already know that is your stipulation for everything. And this is not the Steve Macklin versus Jake something no disqualification match where, I've talked about it's done so that you guarantee a winner. It doesn't mean that they might fight outside a little bit, but it doesn't mean they're going to like bust out weapons. Like, this is going to be busting out weapons. I haven't seen the match. I don't know the spoilers, but it's going to be a garbage match. It's going to be chairs. It's going to be whatever the hell. I mean, it's every week, chairs, tables. And then, we're getting a tables match at Bound for Glory. I think there's another garbage. I feel like there's 2 garbage matches on the show. Yeah, the Hardcore War. Like, if you're trying to do the Hardcore War, why do you keep having these damn street fights and all this bullshit on the show every single week? I wouldn't be shocked if the episode after Bound for Glory, there's one. I mean, it seems like it's just every freaking week with this shit. I'm very, very, very over it at this point. I've been over it for like years. I don't know if Eric Young, they're using this to try to write Joe Hendry out of the company, but you've seen that they really, really struggle to find a way for heels to win feuds. Okay. I talk about this all the time. And here's something interesting. Okay. Um, I've always said that the heels don't win. I gotta look this up on my phone real quick. I always say that the heels don't win feuds unless the title's involved, right? I've always said that because at some point heels have to be champion so they can win feuds. I'm actually very, very wrong here. So I started looking up the last several champions heel champions who won titles. Moose defeats Speedball Mike Bailey. Moose defeats Alex Shelley. Mustafa Ali defeats Chris Sabin. MK Ultra defeats the Coven. Crazy Steve defeats Tommy Dream. We're not going to use that one for an example because he's not a competitor. Trey Miguel defeats Black Taurus. All right. Those are all the past of the last couple of years heels winning championships. That's outside of Ash by Elegance and Elegance brand winning the titles. You know what all that has in common? The person they beat were leaving the company. So even though forever I've been saying, oh, well, heels win championship feuds. No, they fucking don't. It's because they're completely handcuffed. A babyface is leaving the company, so let's put the title on a heel. So they're clueless. I don't know how else to put it to you guys. They're clueless how to get a heel to win anything. So if this is how they have to beat Joe Hendry with Eric Young, we're gonna get the cookie sheets. We're gonna get the outside whatever. The cleanse, which has been delayed until December of 2026. Maybe it happens now. I'm talking about this way too much. Mike Santana had a little backstage video package.
That's nasty.
And everyone was excited because Amazing Red was in this. I thought this was so slow and long and boring. And when Amazing Red came, it didn't make any sense. And I just fast forwarded through it. So I'm sorry. You probably want to hear my, oh, Amazing Red's back. That was awesome. I was actually super fucking bored watching whatever they were doing there. At this point, I'm kind of ready for Mike Santana to be the champion. I've praised the promos. Everyone's praised the promos, but it's starting to become the same, my daughter and all this, the same shit over and over. Even though he's a good talker, it just becomes, okay, we've been listening to these promos and his quest for the title for like a year and a half now. Like at this point, let's just get the title on him. I mean, the chase is, I get it. You're chasing the title. They didn't put the title on you right away, which is excellent, but we're here. Get the title on him. All right. I've just kind of had enough of these. Then we got another match featuring Nick Nemeth.
I've been talking to people walking here. We've been talking about next year, and I'm sitting there saying, I'm not going to be here.
And his opponent, your favorite, my favorite, the Hometown Man.
Everyone in this room is now dumber.
I was scared to death that the Hometown Man was going to win this match. Scared to death. I was also scared to death that if Nick Nemeth won the match, he was going to cheat to win. Which Nick Nemeth should not be cheating to beat the Hometown Man. That's my point. I will give him props for this because the way they laid it out was that, the Hometown Man just went to go get his mask from Ryan Nemeth, and then when he rolled into the ring, he ate a famous or a super kick or something, and then Danger Zone and 1, 2, 3. So I thought it was fine. I thought that the finish was fine. I was gonna lose my shit if Nick Nemeth won this match, like seriously. So then, of course, we get a post-match beatdown because why not? Every time a heel wins a match, post-match beatdown. Then, of course, within seconds, whose music hits but Matt Cardona?
It's like you don't care about this company at all.
No fucking shit, I don't care about this company. Why, this is just an ATM to me.
Like, the logical side of me is like, why wasn't Matt Cardona just in his corner for the match? Like, if he was concerned that this was going to happen. But it's whatever. I'm going to give him props here, too, because heels up, baby. Cardona came in the ring. He got laid out. Nemeth brothers. Hands in the air. Victorious. They go into the next segment with the heels looking strong for once. This is just a funny company, man. Like they go into the pay-per-views and everything is baby faces up, and you're just like, where's the heat for the pay-per-view? Where's the comeuppance for the pay-per-view? You know what I'm saying? Um, my prediction is that Nick Nemeth will win the Call Your Shot Gauntlet. I think it's about time to circle back around to him in the title picture. I think they would love to do Mike Santana versus him. I don't know if I don't know if he's going to get the title off Santana, but that is my prediction. Now, they're not building the Call Your Shot Gauntlet on TV for shit this year. They haven't even name dropped it a single time. Not to my knowledge, at least. And next week is like, no, not next week. This week is the go home show. All they did was Mance Warner. It was the episode I didn't watch where Mance Warner's number 20. Well, like shocker, number 20 never comes close to winning. I think Moose was 20. But we've had more winners from the number 1 spot than anything. I think the first like 3 drew number 1, which is absolutely ridiculous. But this match really could be the Royal Rumble, man. And that's kind of big talk because the Royal Rumble's huge. So it's not going to be the Royal Rumble, but I mean, it can be something that's like really worth a damn, and it is completely under the rug every year. You know, there's like one story, and the story tells us who's going to win the match. That's how they do it every year. Like Frankie Kazarian obviously was going to win last year. Like everyone knew that. The only one that they ever threw a loop was when Bully Ray won. That was the only one that was, but everyone, like when Jordan Grace was going to win, like I knew she was going to win. Knew Eddie Edwards was going to win. We knew Rhino or Heath was going to win one year. Like we know every year who's going to win. This time there's no story going into it. Like it's not Mance Warner's not winning. I can fucking assure you, he doesn't beat anybody. How the hell is he going to win a battle royal? But I do think Nick Nemeth is going to win because they don't have a program for Bound for Glory. Like this is one of your biggest names. You think he's just going to enter this match and they're just going to eliminate him like some jabron? Like he's winning that thing. At least I'm pretty confident in it. Then finally one of the better parts of the show, we had Gia Miller.
Kill you.
And she probably cuts one of the best promos maybe the best promo we've seen on this show. And I've really talked about Gia Miller coming a long way. She sounded like a fucking robot when she first joined this company. And I was like, where did they find this girl? I thought she was so bad. And I think part of it was because when she came on, I can't even remember who she replaced at this point. 'Cause she's been around for a long time. They had this one Gabby chick, not Laspiza, but there was another Gabby. She was real pretty. They had Alicia Toot. I feel like there might have been one or two other. I don't remember, but they were all really good. And then they kind of brought Gia on as this is our mainstay. And I did not think she was good. But she has really grown into it. Like Mackenzie Mitchell was really bad when TNA brought her on. And she ended up, by the time she was NXT, she was really, really good. Because I did see some NXT when she was there. But Gia Miller, very, very natural. As I said, doing commentary and Explosion, I think helped her a lot. Very, very natural, very convincing. And I said on Twitter that I felt the feud with Tessa was missing a couple layers. And I actually retract that statement. I think they handled this perfectly. And it shows there's anticipation for this match. Now it's different because Gia doesn't wrestle. We're going to see her wrestle for the first time on TV. So it's very, very different than saying, Mike Santana and Trick Williams. We've seen him wrestle 100 times. But it just shows the power in keeping her hands off each other a little bit. Like, yeah, Tessa's jumped her a couple times, but Gia has not got any kind of comeuppance on the show. Tessa's attacked her a couple times. She's never hit Tessa a single time. It's not like we're watching these shows and it's like the baby face is always winning, every single match, or when the heel does win, somehow the baby face is the one standing tall at the end of the match. And there's just like this complete lack of heat going into pay-per-views and going into TNA Plus shows. Like there's heat in this. They've laid this out very, very well. The reason I said I thought they were missing a couple layers was because to me, it was kind of like unbelievable that Gia Miller challenged her. I thought that they were going to do a tag team match with like Jody Threat, Victoria Crawford, or something like that. Like that's kind of what it seemed like they were going. Like, what the hell? Why did they involve Jody Threat in this? Oh, because we got to get her TV time and pay her. But like, why was she involved in? It was just really, really weird. I wasn't expecting a one-on-one match. But if Gia Miller wins this, as I said, either Tessa's done or you might as well get rid of her. Like, she should not win this. And there's no. You can build a pretty good sympathetic baby face here. And Gia can be a little mini star for you if you lay this match out correctly. And Tessa, I'm sure, can get a good match out of her. Do not have Gia Miller win this match. I swear to God. I've been saying since Tessa debuted that she needed to take out Gia Miller to get the bully gimmick over. We're going to see what they do here because this is the culmination of that. Is Tessa going to get the bully gimmick over? Or is Gia Miller baby faces up? And then what the hell do you do with Tessa? So it's going to be really interesting. But this was very, very good. This was a great promo. Everyone should watch this promo. I've talked about Masha Slamovich's promo. We don't know if we're going to see her again, but you see the difference between her coming out and say, that Knockouts championship, that's my dream, and then Jim Miller doing what she's doing here. You know what I'm saying? Like see the big difference? Speaking from here, the heart. So, and everyone from NXT needs, Gia Miller needs to hold a promo class for NXT. This was better than any in-ring segment, any talking segment, any backstage segment, whoever. This was, I can't put this over enough. Speaking of baby faces up, the next match we have is Alicia Edwards.
Hey, baby.
And she's taking on Tasha Steelz.
We got a badass over here.
You guys know I love Alicia Edwards. She has to work on the in-ring. And she's going to be okay at Bound for Glory because she's going to have her kendo stick and all that, and there's going to be garbage. But the reason I say that is the match starts off, and it's the double leg sweep, and it's the hair pulling, and she does the. She's only done it once, but the sit out face buster, the Brie Bella does. It's like it's all of the. She does a lot of Attitude Era women's wrestling. You know what I mean? She's got to learn some moves, dude. Like, seriously. Everything is just very, I don't know. Attitude Era women's wrestling is the best thing I can say. Like, it just, whenever you see the women brawl in the Attitude Era, like, that's how Alicia Edwards wrestles. Like, she's got to learn some moves. I love Lish. Everyone knows that, but learn to wrestle. Not learn to wrestle. She can wrestle, but just okay. You've been in a company this long. Like, let's get some more moves than this. You know what I'm saying? So this match was not that good. I didn't expect Alicia Edwards to win. She has a new finisher every time she does win. She had like the flatliner and then the like the sit out face buster. Like I said, the neck breaker she used one time. It always has a name too. They always name it. But this time she hit a pedigree. So it's always a new move with her. You know what I'm saying? But she ends up beating Tasha Steelz. So, did the Order Form win any matches? If it's not Mustafa Ali? Like, I can't think of the Good Hands, Great Hands, Tasha Steelz beating anybody. Now that probably tells us they're going to win at Bound for Glory. You can get away with heels winning this match because there's garbage involved. But I also would not be shocked if the babyfaces didn't just win there too. Mustafa Ali is wrestling JDC next week. Obviously, Mustafa Ali is going to win. So that's going to be their version of heels win going into the pay-per-view. But I would say overall, this has not looked equal. It just always seems like it's the system on top. So I was really expecting Tasha Steelz to win here. Like, I was actually very shocked that Alicia won. And normally I would be very happy that Alicia wins because I'm always looking for her to win. I'm always looking for her to be on my screen. But she did win. But, I'm going to double down. Like, she's got to learn more moves than, the hair pulling and the legs, the I can't remember what the hell the move is now. She's just got to learn more moves. Then we get backstage. Tessa Blanchard.
Oh, I don't like this. That if the Nuggets don't win this.
She's with her black friend Victoria Crawford.
My favorite match was with Melina and Alicia Fox.
And I mean, Tessa's promos are also very good. They're always very, very good. I'm looking forward to this. Like, I honest to God, more than anything about for Glory, I want to see this match because I'm just so intrigued and so curious how they're going to lay it out. Everything else, I feel like I've seen 1,000 times. I put on Twitter that when Dixie Carter was in charge, given all her flaws, the creative team she had under there, they understood to keep your hands off each other before the pay-per-views. The first pay-per-view I ever reviewed for TNA was Slammiversary. This was the one that the main event was Drew Galloway versus Bobby Lashley in the main event. They did not touch once. And as a matter of fact, nobody on the card. Was that the main event for this show? I could be wrong if that was the main event. I think I am wrong. I don't think he was the champion at that point. I think it might have been the main event the next. But anyway, the first show I ever did was Slammiversary. Not one match, I remember specifically, not one match on that card did the two opponents get their hands on each other before the show. Not a single one. They found ways to build up the matches and build up the feud without them attacking each other. Tag team matches where one opponent's wrestling the other opponent, in a one-on-one match. Like they kept everyone pretty separated. I don't remember if that was the Broken Hardys one. That might have been the one exception. They did no. Yeah. Anyway, it has nothing to do with this episode. This version of TNA, like we've seen all the matches like 1,000 times before they happen. That's what it feels like. They could have done it with Indy Hartwell and Kalani Jordan. They could have kept them away from each other, but they had to have them wrestle this week, and they give away part of the match, and it wasn't good. So now I'm like, man, this really isn't going to be good about for Glory. Like I didn't think what they did sold pay-per-view at all. So that was just one positive under Dixie. But even just pay-per-views after that, I know they only did 2 every year, so that actually helps. But most of the matches they kept their hands off each other, especially the main event match. EC3 versus Lashley, Austin Aries versus Moose, like all these matches. The aforementioned Lashley versus Drew Galloway. If you went back and looked at this, there was no physicality between them. They just found other ways to build the match. Main event time.
Oh, and I kick out.
Knockouts Tag Team Championship match. We had the challengers, the IInspiration.
I am iconic.
And the Elephants brand personal concierge.
That's my dad. But don't worry, he's cool.
Really? He doesn't look cool.
And he announces the tag team champions, Heather by Elegance.
He has an erection.
Yeah. It's all her fault.
And M by Elegance.
I keep dreaming and envisioning these long legs. And it's thinking of Susan Anton or what? What's the deal with that?
This was the only thing I had any interest in. Like I said, going into the show, I actually had anticipation for it being the main event because, I've been saying the Elegance brand's become kind of my favorite part of the show. I think Heather and Em are really, really good. I've liked all their matches, whether it was single or a tag team or whatever. Like I really like them. Really like watching them wrestle. Inspiration's okay. I knew Elegance brand was going to win. Was going to lose here, obviously. But I thought the match was good. I thought it was by far the best thing on this show. It was the best match on this show, just with the exception of Gia Miller. Gia Miller was probably the best part of the show. The second best part was this tag team title match, and it ultimately ends because I think I think she spit or she used a glass. I'm sorry, of champagne and accidentally blinded M by Elegance, and they got her out of the ring. They hit their finisher on Heather by Elegance, and they won the match. Oh, I almost went the whole show without coughing. So now they can take the tag titles over to NXT. I actually would not be shocked. Man, that cough got me. I'm not even speaking properly now. Ooh, child. I would not be shocked if the inspiration doesn't. This is just kind of hitting me now. I wouldn't be shocked if they didn't drop the titles right back to the Elephants brand. It just depends how long they're contracted. They were here like 6 months last time. Are they here this time just to be on NXT and then bounce again? I can see a world where that is the case, where they just drop the titles right back to the Elephants brand, and then the Kabuki Warriors challenge them. I can see that world. That all like makes more sense in the way we just know how TNA operates. I mean, remember they had Zachary Wentz win the title for like a day so he could go to NXT and then just drop it again and never get a rematch. TNA. So that could happen. That very well could happen. I hope not. I would like to see the inspiration stick around a little bit longer, but we'll see. They're probably going to be like Matt Cardona, just kind of come and go when they want. That's I think that's a fair assessment, that they could be a version of the cockroach. So we'll see. But as of right now, they're the champions. Kind of disappointing for me because I thought Elegance brand I just think it's a good act. I think they have a lot of momentum. People are a little concerned now they might break up, just because that's what historically we see with the Knockouts tag team division. Title, champion wins, challengers or former champion break up. I'm hoping that's not where they're going to keep going back to, because it's a good act. I think they creatively can find other things for them to do, but they got to put together another tag team of some baby faces that they can feud with, which most likely it's just going to end up being like a 3-way between these two teams and the Angel Warriors. Like that's just kind of TNA booking. We just kind of know this stuff ahead of time. We're optimistic, saying, hey, maybe they're going to tell some new stories, but it just rarely goes that direction. So, we'll see what they do. But there is a couple. I mean, there's some tag teams in the division if they want there to be. You can find Jody Threat a partner. Sky's the limit what they can do with the Knockouts division, and the Knockouts tag team division, they're just not really doing it. I don't mean the champions. I mean the division itself. Sky's the limit. They're just not pulling the trigger on it for whatever reason. That will do it for me, folks. I'm going to wrap it up for today. We'll be back to talk Bound for Glory. I will not be reviewing the episode this week. I never do before a go-home. I mean, before a pay-per-view. I don't review the go-home. I just do the pay-per-view. So we'll be back soon to talk Bound for Glory. I'm your boy BQ, and I'm out. Peace.